This is We Burlesque. This is We Burlesque the podcast, and I am your host, Viktor Devon, and through the miracle of fiber optics, I get to talk to nightlife individuals, and this is the music that made We, where we specifically are talking about the songs that have informed them, brought them on stages, perhaps they've even represented them on stages, or their parents sang to them as lullabies, or they weren't allowed to get that cassette tape. We're gonna find out. We're gonna find it all out together. But listen, we have Rebecca Davis, everybody. Hello, hello.
Hello.
So I'm very
Hello
happy
from
to see
Seattle.
you. Yes. And I was very happy to see you a couple of months ago when I was over at Fat Lusk. It was, of course, a grand
Yay.
affair.
Can you believe that? Just 5 months ago. Just 5 months, but it seems like forever. But look what I
Yeah.
have right here, close by at all times. My shit show bag.
That's right. You were also a Silver Tusk Award winner.
Thank you very much. Oh, is
Congratulations.
this just
Oh,
waiting
just
for a
hanging
spot on
out,
the
just
wall?
hanging
It
out.
really is
Oh.
just handy here on
Oh.
the coffee table where it's just staring at me going, put me up.
So as a the winner of the title Assembly Leader, how do you interpret why that perhaps was a title bestowed upon you by the community?
Lord, I don't know. Uh,
That's very honest, and I appreciate that.
I can't tell why people do what they do. Bless their hearts. I do share this award. It bears saying I do gratefully and very honored to share this award with Jeez Louise
Mm.
herself from currently from New Orleans by way of I'm not even sure where G started. She started in Chicago
Chicago?
or Missouri or she's from everywhere.
Yeah.
She's everywhere I want to be.
She's a
That's just what
cosmic queen.
she all over the place.
Uh,
But for the category of assembly leader, galvanizing the crowd with the mic, well, I do that. I do it. It's true. So I was just pleased to be recognized by peers and fans as somebody who does a good job with a microphone in her hand. So thank you once again, everybody. And thank you, We Burlesque. This delightful award.
oh, very happy to facilitate. That's the thing is that that sort of is my bag, isn't it? It's hopefully amplifying, it's hopefully facilitating, it is getting folks amped up about themselves, and that is a lot of what production is, and it's a lot of what emceeing is too. It's because it's not just about getting the audience really excited about who you're about to see. It's letting that person in the wings know, oh, look at me. I'm somebody too. Let's fucking kill it. And because I know we all talk about it on occasion, like some lukewarm emceeing does not make anybody excited, not the least of worst the worst of person who has to go out there and then shimmy.
Oh no. Oh, it's the worst. The worst is have you seen Drop Dead Gorgeous?
Yes.
So there's a moment where Kirstie Alley has to introduce her daughter's rival
Mm.
for the title of Miss Sarah Rose of Mount Rose.
Hmm.
And so she's like reading it very much like, I said, coming up next is Amber. And she doesn't even get the whole name out before she drops the mic and walks off stage. She's just like, done with you.
Diabolical.
Wow.
Diabolical.
Wow. Don't be her, whatever you do.
But I'm glad to have you. I know I was going to say it between shows, as they say, but you also just recently came off another production of a stage show, yes?
Oh, yeah. For Seattle Children's Theater, as a matter of fact. Thanks for asking.
Hmm.
The Hula Hooping Queen. I was I played one of the adult characters. Everybody in the show was an adult, but the adults who were under 30 were all playing 11 and 12-year olds. So that was
Okay.
fun. I got to
Very,
play Miss.
very, you're a good man, Charlie Brown situation.
Um, yeah, basically, in concept, it's like we're playing children. They're playing children anyway, but we all got to hula hoop, so that was fun.
Had you been a hula hooper by nature before? Was that a skill
Oh,
you had to
God,
learn?
no. Oh, God, no. They got us a hooping coach. Her name was Arlene. She's a fantastic little pixie of a human. She's, I'd say Arlene is probably 5 foot on a good day, bright green hair. And she is a master of the flow arts, which is what we used to call circus arts,
Uh-huh.
which is what we used to just call variety. And so she does a lot of different things in the air. So hoops and bats and juggling and all that Arlene does is a
Mm.
practitioner of. And she taught us all. And I'd say maybe two people came in with a good knowledge of hooping, and then Arlene got to teach us the rest. So, and she was so wonderful and so warm. And basically, there were no wrong answers because I thought you had to technically roll it around your hips, and that's the only way to hula hoop. That's not it.
Mm.
Anytime you get a hoop in the air at any part of your body, it counts.
Mm.
So we got to make up all sorts of fun tricks that kind of embodied that and got to feel pretty good about ourselves. And, there were light up hoops at the end and the kids go nuts. Anytime you turn the lights off, I mean, because we did this mostly for schools,
Mm.
anytime that you turn the lights off, kids will scream. And if you turn the lights off and you've got multicolored glowing hula hoops, forget it. It was fantastic. It was a lot of fun. It's always fun
Fabulous.
to work with a different audience full of people too. So
Yeah.
good time.
This was not a musical though. This was just
No,
talkie.
nope,
Okay.
straight up stage show, hour long
Hmm?
stage show. That's
One
it. Roll
act?
them out, roll them in.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, we're going to talk about some of the songs that I gave you the impossible task, and yet somehow you managed to whittle. Uh,
Curate. I mean, and if you gave me another 3 days, I'd have another five lists for
oh,
you.
sure,
This is
sure.
what made the cut today. On this day, May 9th, this is where we are.
Right. And that's totally fine. This is the thing. We have to realize that we're bombarded by music at all times. It's in our department stores. It's in that car that's playing really loud. It's in that guy on the bike who, for some reason, doesn't have headphones. And then we have access to all of the songs that we intentionally pick. So, do you remember way back in your origin times where you picking your own songs, or were you basically influenced by the family?
Oh, definitely influenced by the family. I have three older siblings.
Mm,
So whatever they were listening to, I was listening to, type of thing. And then my dad was definitely into lots and lots of folk music and classical music and all that type of thing. And so we always had music of one kind or another.
hmm
And my oldest sister, for her, I want to say her 13th birthday, she got a cassette player with a record function. And that was it. It was over from that moment on. It's like, you mean we can also pick the music and the order in which it goes as opposed to
hmm
just putting a needle on a record? Because I'm that old. Not only am I needle on a record old, my dad had a reel to reel. Have you ever seen a reel to reel tape
Yes.
player?
Yes.
My dad had one of those. And after he died, my mother gave it away, which made me sad because I kind of wanted it. I
Mm.
mean, we hadn't really listened to it for years and it was just in a box, but still,
Yeah.
like, and I was not allowed to touch it because there's a skill to turning those big,
Delicate.
heavy clunk,
Yeah.
clunk. And if you do it the wrong thing, then you'll speed it too fast and you could shred the tape and. So,
I mean, I was told when I dropped the needle on the records to be very, very careful as well because those scratch and then you that scratch and skip lives there forever.
yep.
So, yeah. Uh,
So yeah, so that's basically it. I learned everything from my older sister. As I said, she's 10 years older than me, so I got all of her music and then everybody on the way down.
hmm hmm
So I grew up with a very eclectic um, uh, song background. So I never knew music was good or bad. Like I'm fortunate that I didn't grow up with people who were like, "You're not listening to that devil music." Like that was never a thing. Um, but instead, it was like for me, I didn't understand that there really was a difference between Paul McCartney and Jim Croce, neither of whom are on the list, but should be. Uh, or Odetta and Pete Seeger or any of those people.
hmm
That was just like that's music. This is a song I like, and this is why.
Yeah. Yeah. So my I come from a multiple marriage family myself. I think we've talked
Mm.
about before. So my birth mother is my father's second wife who passed very early in my childhood. And
Oh, bless.
so a lot of the vinyl was hers actually. So I learned a lot about what she was into, which happened to be, you had your Cyndi Lauper, you had your Prince, you had your Madonna Like a Virgin, and then you also had like a lot of lesbian folk music, like Holly
Ah,
Near.
oh, wow.
And then I was like, interesting, interesting. So when the conversation that my father and I eventually had about my mom probably being a sapphic bisexual,
Hmm.
um, sort of fit into place. It sort of really
I
fit into
see.
place.
Yeah, yeah.
But but there was also that was I remember just staring at like the covers and like the Weird Al Yankovic original album cover of his first, like just the detail in the drawing and seeing, you know, Prince in these hip hugging boots basically and
Hmm.
that vest for Dirty Mind
Oh yeah.
and just fascinated with liner notes. And I feel like we've lost the power of liner notes because everything is
Oh
digital now, but
yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, that's the thing. If you wanted to know anything, it was going to be on that album
mhm,
somewhere because it was either that or if you found a music magazine that had any information in it, if you got a copy of Cream, God knows you wouldn't be allowed into the shops where they were selling it, but or Rolling Stone or like Star Hits later or any of those magazines. But otherwise, there was until the media was presented for you on one of the major outlets, there was no way to know anything more about what you were into. None.
right.
There was no source for it. And if you lived in a smaller town, then no, like I don't think Prince has ever played Corvallis, Oregon, to be honest with you. I'm fairly certain he never ever has. And now of course he never will.
Oh, well, I don't even think
Uh
he did like American Bandstand. So if,
yeah.
even if when you had TV
Yeah.
to tell you, and that's why it's so funny, interesting. This is an aside, but whenever I see talk show hosts of old, it was so much more organic about what they were talking about. So if you watch like Dick Cavett or Merv Griffin, who I don't love a lot of the times because of the era misogyny,
Yeah, they're just not.
but the guests are usually fabulous. The guests,
Oh
like when
yeah.
you watch like, oh God, who would it was like Eartha Kitt and Janis Joplin. Like it was like at the same
Hmm.
time, and I was like, holy shit. But it seems so much more natural, and now everyone is, I guess, they do the pre-interviews, so everyone knows. Like, so I heard you had some story about such and such. And I'm like, yeah, this is very organic. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is.
Yeah, it's a
uh,
completely different game. I forget who it was. It wasn't Jamie Lee Curtis, but it was somebody who was like, I would think it was an English actress who's like, I just wanted to go on the talk show. Like, I don't want to play a game. She didn't
mm,
want to play beer pong with Jimmy Fallon. She's like, can I just talk about my project
yeah,
and
yeah,
wear a nice dress and leave? It's like, yeah, that would. It's a totally different era for
it is
sure.
because they want to game show it as well
Oh
as
yeah,
you said, and then of course that's all pre-planned too. Like I think it's fantastic when, Ariana does like a goth operatic version of like Row Row Your Boat, but
sure.
they kind of knew that in advance that that was going to
Yeah.
happen. I think we
I
need to
mean, that's the
admit that.
party trick. That's the trick right there. That's your extra. That's how you get the kids to tune in to look at the clip later on the YouTubes.
So I have your list. I don't know if you have your
Okay.
list in front of you, but I will cue you
Yep.
if you want.
Let me go
Is
get
are
it.
these in a specific order?
No, they started to be in dimension or in decade order, and then I
Hmm.
went backwards and forwards. So no.
Okay. Well, we can
I
go
mean,
in
you can kind
any
of see, but they're not, I mean, Song for the Lonely from Cher is definitely should be closer to uh
the
actually, yeah,
later.
they're close. Everything is
So
close,
let's
but
just
not quite.
pick whatever order you'd like. We'll go through them. So which would
Okay,
you like to start with today?
we'll start with Joy to the World by Three Dog Night.
This is obviously a classic, and Jeremiah was in fact a bullfrog.
Indeed.
Where did this come into your timeline?
Well, actually, it's the first song that I ever remember singing in public on purpose.
Hmm.
So, and this is, I've got monologues about this, but we had a Shakey's Pizza Parlor in my town, and they had kind of a hearth in front of the fireplace. It was like a little platform. So could not have been much older than two or three,
Hmm.
and it came on the jukebox, and I started doing the number like in by the little picnic tables where everybody's singing. So I start doing the number. I start singing it, having a great time. And my uncle Gene picked me up. Not really my uncle, but closer than. So friend of the family picked me up and put me on the hearth, and then I just did the number. And I remember these two blonde women standing in front of me. They're just like, she's so adorable. Who are you? What's your name? And I told them all about me while I'm singing. And I did the whole thing because my family, when we went across country or we went on camping trips, we would sing in the car
Hmm.
because we didn't have a car with a radio in it till 1980. So we had like literally a radio that my dad would bring, or we had my sister's cassette tape,
Hmm.
or we had my sisters who would simply sing songs. And then
Right.
that's how I would learn them. So um, they had learned, and some of my cousins had learned Joy to the World. And so we would all sing it. I mean, just, it's so much fun as a kid. Ah, now. And you're like, I'm a boy, I'm a girl. The song's about me. So you have it's raucous and it's celebratory and it's definitely of the 70s. So when the song came on the jukebox, I was like, oh, I know this one from having sung it for however long. So that's one of the very first songs I learned, and the first song I think that I sang in public on purpose.
Mm, there you go. Let's take a listen to it. This is from 1970. This is the album Naturally. This is Three Dog Night with Joy to the World.
Jeremiah was a bullfrog, was a good friend of mine. I never understood a single word he said, but I helped him a drink his wine. And he always had some mighty fine wine, singing joy to the world. All the boys and girls now, joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea, joy to you and me. If I were the king of the world, tell you what I'd do. I'd throw away the cars and the bars and the war, make sweet love to you, singing out joy to the world. All the boys and girls, joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea, joy to you and me.
I love that song too because I mean, it's set up to be a kid's song. It's
Mm,
got it's got that imagery in it. And what I found out many years ago is that basically it was a song that they had the music to, but they didn't have words. And so when they were laying down the demo, I think it was Hoyt Axton, it was just like, I don't. Jeremiah was a bull and just started singing
they
nonsense.
just needed to fill the meter. Yeah.
Yeah. And so they just did that, and then they added stuff on. And that band famously at that time was lit like a Christmas tree. It was the 70s. Everybody was higher than God. So that's kind of how some of that imagery came along, but which again kind of helps fuel the whole not necessarily infantile in a bad way, but the kind of like, you know, we're just all having a groovy time here, people, you know.
Yeah. I mean, it's also it's this accessibility, almost nursery rhyme quality that was very
Yeah.
popular in the late 60s anyway. I mean, and simplistic possibly, but also oddly psychedelic.
Hmm.
Because you're creating these, I mean, anyone, I am the walrus, goo goo gajoog, like any of this imagery is like, yes, everyone is higher than higher than God, as you put it. But there's also this sort of innocence that therefore it doesn't seem like it's not sex, drugs, and rock and roll uh, in a pervasive way.
Yeah,
It's
it's
just
more
sort
about
of
reaching the higher plane of consciousness and everybody being groovy together.
groovy,
Like
just
that was
being
the whole
groovy.
point, was let's all be groovy together. And people forget that because it was also used as a way to escape from the evil of the world, like the Vietnam War, yada
Mm.
yada yada.
Yeah.
But it really was all just about being groovy together
I
and
mean,
hanging out.
there were some controversies, obviously. I remember there being discussion about what Louie and really what that was, what they were saying, what they were trying to pass against the radar with that one, because it was all slurred. And then, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds being an anagram, or not anagram, I guess a code for LSD and things like
Hmm.
that. But
Did you know that John Lennon paid for that woman's cancer treatment till she died?
I did not.
Yeah, Lucy is actually was a classmate of Julian Lennon's,
Okay.
and he brought home a picture, and John said, "What's that?" And he said, "That's Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds." Lucy was his classmate, and later in life, and she did develop cancer, unfortunately, and John Lennon paid for her treatment. Bam!
I love little factoids. No, trust me, I am full of them too. So thank goodness. Uh, yeah, and
Which is a lovely thing.
this is also of an era when like the last gasp really. I mean, I guess we had some in the 80s too with like uh the Andrew Lloyd Webber era, but the symphonic era, but a lot of these like rock musicals from like Jesus Christ Superstar and Hair. The reason I bring this up is because Three Dog Night also had a release of Easy to Be Hard and things like that.
Yes.
But these standard show tunes that became pop hits. It's sort of the last bit of that before I think even the Andrew Lloyd Webber, like we know Memories from Cats I think we can't separate it exactly. It's hard to separate Don't Cry for Me Argentina from Evita, like it's that kind of thing.
Oh
But
yeah.
these are really like songs that were from a show, but also like had an FM radio. I guess actually they didn't have FM back then, but had an AM radio kind of
Yeah, I know FM was
acceptability to
doing
them.
something completely different. Or I Don't Know How to Love Him from Jesus Christ
Yeah,
Superstar. Like
yeah,
that got a hit out of that, I'm fairly certain.
yep,
You
yeah.
know what? So I'm keeping my eye on my work email at the same time here, and I'm like, told you. My boss was like, "Oh no, I'm running late to this meeting." I'm like, I told you you couldn't make that, but okay, good for you. You keep trying. You keep trying a thing. Cool. Anyway,
Well, so we didn't. So spoiler alert, audience at home. I've seen the list. I know that there aren't any show tunes on there, but do you? But as a musical theater person, we talked about this on our initial conversation with you. That I'll include in the footnotes. Uh, were those also part of your childhood? Were things that
there
they?
were some specifically, but it wasn't. My, we didn't really seek out musicals in my family, so from albums that we were given
Mm,
or that were found at garage sales, my family's huge on garage sales. Huge on garage sales. So, but we were given the soundtracks for Peter Pan.
mm,
We had Fiddler on the Roof on Reel to Reel. Did I already tell you that story? I think
yes,
I did.
yes.
Yeah. We had Fiddler on the Roof on Reel to Reel. We had Peter Pan, Oklahoma, Jesus Christ Superstar. Um, do we have anybody else? We had a generic Disney's Greatest Hits, uh, which annoyed me because I'm like, that song isn't in Peter Pan because what they did in Peter. Anyway, long story short, too late. I'm trying to remember what other musicals. Really Rosie.
Oh
I
wow.
know that one
Okay.
back to forward. Um,
Was that the Carole King musical?
yes.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And I learned a couple songs from that, and then I got the album from the library, and I was like, "Who's been keeping this from me?"
Yeah.
That one, there was a Raggedy Ann and Andy had a musical, which I've never seen to this day, but I checked out. I saw it in the library, so I checked out the cassette and listened to it.
Hmm.
So for no reason at all, I know that back to front. Um, but yeah, those are basically the musicals that I knew until I was cast in Oliver.
Hmm.
And once you're in Oliver, you're always in Oliver. It's always in your head. And I've done that thing twice. Two
Who did you
times.
play?
Well, the first time, I was a rose seller. I was, all the course parts. Boom Papa. So I was a
Yeah.
hooker, sold roses, was a bar wench, um, chased Bill Sykes, was actually my one of my oldest friends in the world, played the hussar who shoots Bill Sykes off the bridge at the very end. I was his prostitute. We were walking across the stage together, and that happened. Um, I, I still don't, I still don't understand how that's a musical for children. I still don't, because really the orphans are in a couple numbers, but everybody else is,
Yeah.
being being 19th century English folks. So
Which is a ball for everyone concerned.
yeah, stuff
I
freaking
was, it's
movie.
Poverty, the musical.
E-
Yay.
Exactly. Ragged yourself up, people. Um, and I did a production of Cabaret how many years ago? A decade or so ago, I want to say, at Rebar, RIP Rebar's place. And I got to play Fraulein Schneider,
Oh,
which was amazing.
no.
There were things about that show that I still think are better than any other production of Cabaret I've ever seen since, even though it was produced in a grungy bar, et cetera, et cetera.
Possibly
Yeah,
because it was
could have
set.
been. I didn't get to sing one song though because the people that they had hired, the band members, could not play it. So I did not get to sing it, and I'm still salty about that. So it's
Which
a song she
song?
sings called "What Would You Do?"
What would you do? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't get to sing it because they couldn't play it.
That's rough. That's sort of like the bookend of So What?
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
whatever. The time rolls on. People have gone on to great fame, and some people are dead now, so it's fine.
That's indeed.
It's
Oh,
absolutely fine.
where does our next song bring us? Hmm.
Sammy Davis Jr. had a TV show. The songs are very descriptive. They went somewhere. A lot of them had a beginning, middle, and end. Also on this album are things like We opened in Venice from Kiss Me Kate,
Hmm.
which I didn't know was from Kiss Me Kate, but he
Yeah.
sings it with Dean Martin and Frank Sinatra. And then the other side was more of the ballad stuff, which I didn't listen to till I was much older.
Mm.
And the whole album opens with "Hey There," which was made most famous by Rosemary Clooney, but
You
his
with the
version
stars in your
me
eyes. This is Hey There from
because
Sammy
also
Davis
like
Jr.
the production and the quality and everything else is just so different from Joy to the World.
Sure. Yeah, yeah. All right, let's listen.
Skung giki gung giki gung 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 giki gung giki gung ging 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 sking ging 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 gung ging ging ging. Hey there, you with the stars in your eyes. Love never made a fool of you. You used to be too wise. Hey there, on that high-flying cloud. Though she won't throw a crumb to you, you think someday she'll come to you. Better forget her, her with her nose in the air. She has you dancing on a string. Break it and she won't care. Won't you take this
Great.
advice I
That's
Oh,
actually
Sammy Davis
from
Jr.
speaking. So there is musical theater in this. I didn't realize it, but I just snuck it in. But I think that's from the Pajama Game, isn't it?
I think you're right.
Which I also didn't see until 4 years later.
Yeah, yeah, it is, in fact. It is, in fact. And Pajama Game.
Going to the Googanator. John
Okay.
Raitt
Yeah, there
was
we
Bonnie
go.
Raitt's dad.
And Adler and Ross, who did Damn Yankees. I was like, I know there's a connection because Damn Yankees is a important show for me as a young
Oh.
person. It was one of the first shows that we saw a community theater. I think it was a high school production, looking
Mhm.
back. And I was fascinated with it. And I wanted, of course, to be both Lola and Mr. Applegate. That was really what I wanted. And then I kind of became both Lola and Mr. Applegate. I think I sort of dual pathed it,
Hey.
didn't I? But yeah, and that, of course, if folks who don't know, also has the Hernando's Hideaway, which,
Mhm.
is just everywhere. So good times. Uh, so when you were hearing these songs from the older siblings, you said you are the youngest, in fact, or were
Mhm.
there under you? Yeah.
Youngest of
How
four,
youngest of four? How large was the distance between you and the eldest?
10 years.
Substantial. That's
Mhm.
substantial, yeah. As someone who grew up with three older sisters and then an older brother who was in and out of the picture, uh, early on, and then more came along as the marriages added. But I remember really being interested in what they were listening to, even if I didn't quite understand it. And sometimes it scared me because some of them
Mhm.
were into like raucous, weird shit.
How raucous, how weird.
I don't even
Like Ozzy Osbourne weird, or are we
no,
talking?
like in looking back, it really was like the Doors. But the Doors can be a little scary at times. Jim Morrison was
Yeah.
talking about being high as a kite. Like hearing Break On Through to the Other Side, like I don't know, there's something oddly nefarious that I heard in that.
No,
And
it's atmospheric as hell. I had a ninth grade teacher who thought it'd be fun to play some Doors for us and then have us journal what we thought about it. And I'm like,
mm,
now I'm looking back at it and I'm like, you manipulative old hippie man. Like, how dare you take us happy, breaking my stride, wham loving people and make us listen to this nonsense about mother, I want to kill you. What?
oh yes, well, okay, so my father was also a really big Harry Chapin fan. And Harry
Oh my
Chapin,
God,
for
these glory
those
songs of the 70s.
fantastic artist. And so obviously everyone knows Cats in the Cradle, everyone possibly knows Taxi. But he also has like some scary as shit songs, including the song
Ooh.
called Sniper.
Oh.
Because he was often like he would sing songs, storytelling songs, because that was his vibe, but a lot
Mhm.
of them were also like in the first person. And since a lot of his characters were destitute or real life working class or poor, he was a protest singer. Like these were important to him. A lot of the material was just sort of disarming, and then you had like this sort of like do 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 like taxi theme to it.
Yeah, yeah.
And then oh God, there was another song called Bummer that freaked me out. And then some of them I liked. Like there's a song Burning Herself,
Oh
which
wow.
is about self-harm actually. But it's a jam. Like why? Or what? Or Woman
Why
Child,
would you do this?
Woman Child, which is about abortion. And I'm like, but it's a jam, but it's
Oh my
creepy. But it's
God.
creepy. Yeah. Yeah. Well, thanks, Dad.
Nuts. Oh, the 70s.
Yeah. But your next track is a little bit more wistful and winsome.
Wistful and winsome. Raindrops keep falling on my head.
The BJ
BJ
Thomas
Thomas.
version. Why this one?
It's very formative because when we went to my dad was a professor at Oregon State, and we went to Michigan State for a year on sabbatical. So he teach there for a year and whatever math professors do when they go on sabbatical. And so I was very, very small. I think I was 2 or 3, but in order to keep me with some familiar items, my mother did 2 things that I remember. She probably did more. She got me a pillowcase that was just mine, that had never been owned by anybody else. It wasn't a hand-me-down. And she also got me a music box. So we were practicing getting ready for bed by she would wind up the music box and we would listen to the music box and then go to sleep.
Hmm.
After a book, you read a story, music box, bed. So she's like lining it up so that there'd be some semblance of, order in the life. And so the music box that I had, which is Lost the Sands of Time, played Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head. And then when I got older, I mean, the tune meant comfort to me. And then I started listening to the lyrics, of course. And I was like, well, it's got my philosophy in life anyway, right there. And it's kind of
Yeah.
full. I mean, growing up in Oregon or the Pacific Northwest in general, where it rains so much, you cannot wait for it to quit raining to do things. Like whether it's your life or playing a game, you kind of
Hmm.
have to go out and do it. So it doesn't matter if the raindrops are falling on your head.
Hmm.
It's not forever. It's just for now. So get out there and do something. So that was kind of became kind of the keep going motto.
Yeah. Well, very lovely. This is
Yeah.
actually from the songbook of Burke Bacharach and Hal David, who of course are prolific. And this is actually from the film Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
It's true, which I didn't see until I was in my 30s. I mean, I don't think my mother knew that at the time.
No, I mean, that's again, we talk about standards and not knowing they're from a show. It's the same
Yeah.
thing a lot of times with these, and oh, so many like you would hear like then like the Supremes do this song or Aretha Franklin do the song. Like it was that era of songwriters that every pop star, like suddenly Dionne Warwick had that version, and it was like, oh, this is just everyone's just every we don't do that anymore where
Mhm.
everyone sings the same songs for 3 years in a row and see who
Yeah.
does the best. And they
Gladys
all
Knight
chart
has a
well.
version, for no apparent reason. Like, and do yourself a favor if you want to get a Sammy Davis Jr. fantastic version of the girl from Ipanema.
Mm.
Baby, it swings. It's the most Sammy Davis Jr. like cha cha. Anyway, different song, but
No, you
I can
know it's
recommend
quite all right. All right, this is BJ Thomas with Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head from 1969.
it.
Raindrops are falling on my head, and just like the guy whose feet are too big for his bed, nothing seems to fit. Those raindrops are falling on my head, they keep falling. So I just did me some talking to the sun, and I said I didn't like the way he got things done, sleeping on the job. Those raindrops are falling on my head, they keep falling. But there's one thing I know, the blues they send to meet me won't defeat me. It won't be long till happiness steps up to greet me.
Ah, yes. And that
Raindrops.
goes into the whole crux of the song, which is the one thing I know: the blues they send to meet me won't defeat me. It
Mm,
won't be long till happiness steps up to greet me, and that's the big plus of that song for me.
yeah. Ah. So these songs that are very formative for lots of reasons. I know not everything could make the cut, and of course it couldn't possibly.
Yeah,
Um,
so much.
but how much of this music that was in the household belonged to you, or was there like a family room where this was accessible to everyone?
Oh no, this is yeah. These are songs that were accessible via radio and things that were left out.
Hmm.
Um, you are not allowed to go in other people's rooms and access their stuff.
I see.
That's a no.
Okay.
And if you are a very curious and inquisitive child, though, just saying, without incriminating myself. But generally, there was one record player, and it was in the living room, so that's where everybody kept their records anyway. I mean, people had like their sections, but yeah.
Mm,
So that was basically it until people got individual music systems when we were older. My older brothers and my sisters who had kind of moved out by then, and you have your own cassette players,
hmm.
and then you'd have your own music. But otherwise, it's kind of fair game out there.
Yeah. Make sure you rewind. That's
Well,
just
sure.
polite.
That's just kind. Rewind. Indeed.
Was there any teen idols or anybody exciting on the walls of your bedroom?
Oh, oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Who'd you got?
Well,
Who'd you got?
I had although I never owned any of his music, but I did have a poster of Leif Garrett.
Mm.
Who else did I have? Well, this is mostly in high school. So by the time I got to high school, it was all George Michael, a little Duran Duran, but I went strictly into the Wham camp. And so
Mm.
in my school, you kind of had to choose.
Oh, okay.
Not in a mean way, but it was just like Diane is into Duran Duran and Rebecca is into Wham, and that's fine.
Yes.
You
You
don't
don't.
gotta love the other person's stuff, but also if anything comes up about Duran Duran, you run and tell Diane about it, that type of thing. Melissa was really into the Fix. I kind of got into the Fix through the back door, really got into Howard Jones, really got into when Janet Jackson dropped Control. That was huge, 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 huge. Um, and Climax was huge. Prince pretty much ruled everything for a good long time. Bowie was on the side a little bit. And I wish I'd kept any of my Peaches. Did you grow up with Peaches
I don't know if
folders?
Ben. Mm-mm.
It was a specific. It was like just a cardboard folder that you put your papers in from class to class. But it
Okay.
was made by a company and it was called a Peachy because it was kind of peach colored.
Okay. No, I
PEACH.
was more Trapper Keeper era.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is before Trapper Keepers were made. So
Yeah.
everybody had a Peachy, and then you would decorate them, and you would like put your band names on them, or your
Eh,
celebrity crushes, or your personal in life crushes that you code it so nobody would know you were really in love with A, B, and C. And but those were always covered with everybody that I was really into at the time. Those are the big names. Those are the ones that have kind of survived. And then later, Tears for Fears shows up. Um, who else? I already said Howard Jones. I didn't really like Heart in the 80s. I liked Heart in the 70s when my older sister was into Heart.
Mm-hmm.
So like the Dreamboat Annie eras and
Mm-hmm.
like they had this whole thing with kind of a Ren Fair vibe to it
Mm-hmm.
that all I want to
The
do.
Baroque years.
Yes, exactly. When they started getting into pop music, which is where they made a lot of money, and I'm not mad at them about it, but I'm like, really? Kind of turned my back on that. A little Stevie Nicks, but that belonged to other people. Got huge into Tina Turner,
Mm.
huge. And then when I found out Tina Turner had existed before 1983, I was like,
Mm.
get me to the record store. I gotta go back. I gotta go back. I gotta see what else she was doing. And then I fell in love with her retroactively that way too. Because at that point you basically had radio and a little bit of MTV. And if your radio station wasn't playing if you weren't listening to an oldie station, then you didn't understand that there was such a thing as a back catalog.
Right.
So either you got it through your family or from a family friend in there. So
Yeah. Yeah. And if you got the singles, very often you would get the B-side, which sometimes wasn't exclusive
mhm.
or it was an album cut. But a lot of times, unless you committed to that full-length album, you were just listening to those two songs over and over
Over and
again.
over.
Maybe there was an
Because
EP.
oh
Maybe.
yeah, maybe. But I mean, like, who had $10? I don't, but I have $2, so I can get the 45. But I can't commit to an entire album full of. Wait a minute, what is this?
Yeah.
And actually, all my albums are over there in that cabinet that I haven't looked at since I moved in here over 10 years ago. but there they sit. I also had a mild flirtation with the Beach Boys. Did we talk about this?
No.
Oh, so there was a point where and the Beach Boys have a lot of greatest hits albums
Hmm.
because every time they sign a new contract, they re-recorded a bunch of stuff, I think. So that's why you have like 4 or 5 different labels that all have the same Beach Boys music on it.
I think they were
That's
also
why
smart enough where they owned their masters. They may have been one of the few, like Brian Wilson may have been like, I'm going to hold on to these. So
maybe
every
not
time
in their
they,
first, not in their early stuff though, for sure
mm,
not. I don't think they were because they were being managed by somebody's dad.
mm.
But yeah, so there's a lot of Beach Boy stuff we fell into. Again, there was a garage sale album, and it got my sister's imagination and mine, and two of the neighbors up the street, the Griffiths girls. So we would be the Beach Girls, and we would do numbers. We would memorize those albums, and we would do these entire concerts in the living room. It was so fun, and we did that for a very long time. So I know a lot of the Beach Boys back catalog too for no real, I mean, that's the reason.
Yeah, yeah, that's
But I've
reasonable.
never bought any of their new music. And when they came out with Kokomo, I was like, oh, who are these people?
Yeah, I
There's only 2 original members. I don't need any of this.
legit hated that song when I was a child. Legit hated it. It was everywhere.
Yeah.
And I
No,
think
it
what
was
really bothered, and I think it was one of the first songs that I remember hearing and being like, I don't care for this. Like, I think it was a distinctive memory for me. And I remember being like, I don't believe them. It was because it was such a dry, um, performance. Like, I
Mhm.
want to take a glimpse. I'm like, and I know that was kind of like their vibe. If you listen to like, surfing is the only way, the only life for me. Yeah, surf. But it was like, it was so monotone. I'm like, you're not going to Kokomo. What the hell are you talking about? Yeah, I don't know. I
Exactly.
don't
None
know.
of you have ever been there. You're never gonna go there.
You're
Yeah, no, it
lying.
was
Don't lie to me.
it was filthy and gross and well, it wasn't filthy, but it was like very boring and very sterile, and I didn't have any emotional attachment to it. So that's then. But basically, in any decade, I would say probably up until probably 91 or 92, I knew every song on the radio. And I remember telling myself, the minute you don't, you're old. And I'm like, well, guess I'm old now. 'Cause I have no idea who any of these people are anymore. But yeah, there was in the back of my brain, slowly leaching away day by day, is most of the top 40 from like before, I don't know, when they started playing that stuff. Like I probably reached back to about 67 through 91. If it was in the
Hmm.
top 40, I probably know it one way or the other.
You're gonna get you. Uh,
Exactly. And we haven't even talked about the Blondie of it all or the Pretenders. Oh, jeez.
but we're gonna get to our first female vocalist on your list.
I can't believe it took that long, but yeah, there she is.
There she is. Now, you technically chose two songs, but you got to pick one.
It's true. Well, they count. I mean, it's still 10. It's still the 10.
No,
Yeah,
you
isn't
gave
it?
me.
One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10. Oh, nope, 11. You're right. You're right. Well, if I have to pick, let's go with Last Dance.
All right. So Donna Summer, tell me about it.
Donna Summer, such a pretty lady. She had such long hair. I did not know for many years that it was probably a wig. So I tried to grow
Or
my
heavily
hair.
processed, bruh. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I tried for years. I thought I would just like to have Donna Summer hair without realizing that even Donna Summer did not have Donna Summer hair. So, but I thought she was very pretty, and I love the way she sings, and I love the quality of her voice. And that song "Last Dance" was great because it goes places.
Hmm.
Same thing with on the radio; it also goes places. There's a beginning, middle, and end. It tells a little story,
Hmm.
which is also, as a burlesque producer, bring it on back. Those are my favorite kinds of acts. Are acts that have a clear beginning, middle, and end, which is also speaks to my nerdlesque roots a little bit. It's like I like that we're doing something, the clothes come off, and then we're done. Um, and there seems to be there's like a why involved in it. But Last Dance is great because it's just somebody talking about it's the last dance, it's the last chance for love. And in the in my club going days in the 90s, Best Beloved, there used to be a place in Seattle called the Brass Connection,
Ooh.
and they had a brass rail and they had a stripper pole and they had a dance floor, they had a bar, and it was, a filthy little gay bar, and I loved it. But the DJ would play this song last, and
Really.
then I would do the number. A lot of these songs are me doing the number.
Hmm.
And so then I would be, feeling no pain by 1:45 in the morning and just like, and there is a place when the music picks up for a epic disco twirl, and I would do it every single time and not fall down in my own memory. But yeah, so it's a very joyful song about the end of the night.
Yeah. It's sort of it's to have that to create a song that will end most wedding receptions, that will end most proms, that will
Yeah.
tell people that sort of tell people, okay, pack your bags, depending on which version, because there's a good
Yeah.
10-minute version, there's a good 6.5, and there's a 3-minute. So,
Wow. I didn't realize there were that many versions of that song.
well, it's that
The remix of it all.
just keep going it. You just got to keep going because there's the slow into the fast, into the slow, into the fast again. Like you gotta,
Yep.
yeah, fantastic. So this is also from a soundtrack. This is from the film Thank God It's Friday. This is
God,
Donna
it's
Summer.
which I
Last
was not old enough
Dance.
to see.
No, yeah, it's I understand it. It's a little racy.
I'm sure it's racy, and it's also probably a little racist because 70s
70s.
is my thought. Let me look it up while you play. While the DJ spins the hits. 1978. There it is.
I need you by me, beside me, to guide me, to hold me, to scold me. 'Cause when I'm bad, I'm so, so bad. So let's dance, let's dance, let's dance, let's dance, let's dance, let's dance tonight. Let's dance for love. Yes, it's my last dance.
Yeah.
So
As I
great.
said, raised by wild drag queens. Like everything's dramatic in these songs. Everything is
Naturally.
happening.
Uh be remiss not to say that that was written by Paul Jabara, who also wrote It's Raining Men and No More Tears.
I did not realize that was the same person.
Yes, yes,
Oh,
yes, indeed. And as I understand it, one that we lost too soon to complications with AIDS. Um,
well, of
yeah,
course.
it's the era. It's
I
absolutely
hate
the
the of
era.
courseness of that all, but yeah, there you go.
Yeah, as someone who was frequenting the gay bars and reveling, did you see this happening in real time where suddenly people weren't showing up?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I got to Seattle in the fall of 91. So two things I saw. I saw Courtney Love fall out of a car on her way into 7-Eleven and fall back into it, drunker than a whatever.
Uh-huh.
Um, and that was not rare. I'm not the only one who saw that and various other things. And you would see people one week and then you wouldn't see them the next, or in between, you would see them. Um, you would see their faces change. You would see lesions begin. You would see them getting skinnier and skinnier. You would see people and then you wouldn't. And I learned the very hard, obnoxious way not to comment on people's appearance and not to say, you look great if you lost weight. No, I don't look great. Yes, I've lost weight. And then they're gone. And trying to explain what it was like on the main thoroughfares of Capitol Hill in the 90s. Like I think people more poetic than me probably need to take a bigger swing at it. Um, and it's not that you got used to it, but the shock wasn't as immediate or as deep
Mm.
eventually. But there was a point in time, best beloved, where nothing we did was not both a celebration of life and a way to raise money to help people. Everything we did was a fundraiser.
Yeah.
Nothing we did. There was no club night for the fuck of it on a Thursday. It was Care to Dance. It was, red, white, and blues. It was the prom you never went to, or my all-time favorite, the Queen City Cruise. Big floating boat of gay going around the Puget Sound. So
Ah.
fun. So fun, but for a reason.
Mhm. Mhm.
So yeah, it was a time that I certainly hope we never repeat. But anyway,
Yeah. Yeah. We're taking a electronic deviation with our next track. Tell me where we're going with stereo MCs.
oh, sorry, MCs. Okay. Oh, this is a great number. This is a great disassociation number as well. So moving from Eugene, Oregon to Seattle, Washington, and into the Inspiral carpets and the kind of the Manchester sound and basically this kind of, I don't know if we can call it is kind of a heavy funk, but also a little industrial on the side that kind
Hmm.
of came out of the Midlands of England at the time. But this is a song that, depending on whether or not the DJ sped it up or slowed it down, but everybody gets their head in the same groove at the same time, and it becomes kind of a meditation on the dance floor at the same time, and the words are soothing. Gonna get myself connected. Writings on the wall. Actually, I think I might have just misquoted it, but anyway, it was all very much. Uh, and it's another school of thought as to what intoxicants people are doing on a dance floor, as to what kind of music they want to dance to. There is a marked difference between this and tweaker EDM music,
Hmm.
even though they kind of get lumped together. At least that's how I interpret it to be.
Different times of the night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And different kinds of people, and different people are going out for different reasons,
Yeah.
you know? So, but this was just basically, this reminds me when and it wasn't just me, there were a bunch of us that moved up over a period of 6 or 8 months from Eugene to Seattle, and we were all together kind of in our own little tribe, and we would always go out to various places, and we would end up so much shouting out to Seattle right now, to a place called Neighbors.
Mm.
And when I was first moving up there, and I told a friend of mine, club friend of mine in Eugene, mind you, one club, that I was going there, he's like, "Yeah, I'm moving there too." And I'm like, "Well, how am I going to find you?" Because at that time there were no cell phones, so if you moved to a city, you didn't know anybody, you had to figure out ahead of time. And he's like, "The only thing I know is that there's a big club called Neighbors, so I'll probably see you there on a Saturday night." I was like, "Okay, Neighbors, that's a place I'll have to go so I can find him again." Do I remember his name? I do not. I want to say James, but who can say?
But you remember this song, and that's
I do. And I
yeah.
remember this song.
All right, let's take a listen to it. So yes, in fact, if you make sure you're connected, the writing is on the wall. This is connected from stereo MC.
Sunday night ride. Gonna get myself connected. I ain't gonna go blind when the light which is reflected. See through you, see through you, I see through you, I see through you. Your dirty tricks, you make me sick. I see through you, I see through you. I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna do it again.
So while you were doing that, I went and looked up other vocabulary words that I have since forgotten, but
Sure.
it's the baggy sound. Manchester baggy sound, which is funk, psychedelica, guitar rock, and house music. And house music, of course, we get from Chicago. But
Okay.
basically, it's that concentration in there. Wanted to give a
That
shout out
would
to